I'll tell you, I went home to my wife. I said, I just got fired. She's like, what? And they gave us a very short window to get out. It was 48 hours. Day 2 of getting fired by RE/MAX. I mean, literally the manager came in here yesterday and said, you're out in 48 hours. I'd been at a couple of brokerages, then we settled at RE/MAX for quite a while. And this isn't a beat on RE/MAX, right? RE/MAX didn't fire me. A manager owner fired me. And basically there's a story to it. Let's just say we did our own thing there and they didn't love that. And we were our own thing. We were basically our own brokerage inside of a brokerage. And it just kind of all came to a head, and I walked in one day, and it was a Friday. I got some flack, and then on Monday we came in and was told that, that was the end. Like, you got to move on. And they gave us a very short window to get out. It was 48 hours, and we had no clue where we were going to go. No one on our team at the time was even a broker, and there was frankly nowhere big enough to accommodate us. No other brokerages were big enough to accommodate us, and we just made a decision that day. Let's go independent, and the rest is history, as they say. If you're ever thinking about going independent, come along for the ride, because we've got 2 weeks to get the hell out of here. I mean, when the guy first told me, I was like, how do I want to say this? There's been some good times, there's been some bad times, but we're gonna go our separate ways. And in my head, I was like, okay, well then get the out of my way, because I got stuff to do, right? And that's just how I felt, man. And I think that's what separates leadership from most. I don't want to say most. Many people would have gathered everybody together and say, oh my gosh, guys, we got some really bad news. We just were told. No, you got to have a solution to bring to people before you're going to give them that crap, that ho-hum crap, right? So my mindset right away was, what do we do right now? Not what do we talk about, what do we do? I'll tell you, I went home to my wife. First thing I did is I called in 2 of our top agents, close friends also, told them what happened. Then I went home and got my wife while they put together everybody a team meeting, kind of a spur of the moment team meeting. And I went home and I said to my wife, I said, I need to talk to you. And she said, what's up? I said, I just got fired. She's like, what? I said, yeah, I just got fired. And she was like, are we gonna be okay? And I'm like, yeah, we are. And but I need you to come with me, as I wanted my wife by my side as we addressed everybody. Super, super, super exciting news. And that's why Jen is here, because I went home and talked to Jen first, and then I'm bringing it all to you. We are going independent.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. So, and I figured you kind of knew. That was just one of those pivotal moments, man, where, for so long people said to me, when are you gonna go independent? When are you gonna go independent? I didn't even know you worked at RE/MAX. When are you gonna go independent? And I would always say the same thing. And people could say whatever they want, but I felt this in my heart, right? I said, when God thinks it's the right time, then he will tell me. And he didn't just tell me, he shoved me out of a window. So I come in my office and Tony's got this on my desk highlighted. So it says, a time for everything. So there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. Tony picked this. I haven't read this yet. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. Well, I guess it's time. I never questioned myself at all, and I think that's what leaders do. A job of a leader is to shield a lot of other people from a lot of the shit that we deal with in a day. That is, some of it's little, some of it's big, but at the end of the day, it's just the stuff you deal with. And part of my job, I always feel like, is to shield everybody else from that, unless there's something specific I need to involve them in. But never did I have a doubt. I had belief in us as a whole, as a company, as a team, as friends. We're a very tight bunch. I was very appreciative and I loved their support. Everybody wanted to go independent. There wasn't somebody that was like, we should do that. Everybody was aligned in going independent.
Well, I feel like if there's one thing that I've discovered about John, and it's a love-hate thing, he's literally always right. So when it comes to things like big decisions, it ends up being, I'll be like, I don't know. Yeah, he was right. So when it came to something that big, you would think that someone would be nervous, but now I think I've been working with John for a little over 13 years. So it didn't make me nervous at all. Truly, I was like, okay, we got this. I had no reservations at all about it. I wasn't worried. I wasn't nervous. I don't think a lot of people here were. I think a lot of people realize and understand that when John says something, he's gonna do it.
Everybody was aligned in going independent, and of course, that helped bolster my belief. But at the same time, it was the same with, trying to find an office space in such a short time. There were this place and that place and this place, and it was interesting, I was very chill about it. I was like, again, God will deliver.
Anything you think stands out, anything you think you might like, anything you think is a good area, and then I'll show you what we're looking at. I think anything that isn't like if it's a lateral move, and it gives us the space we need is okay, right. But we're not going backwards. Yeah.
Out of the blue, I get a phone call, this building, and here we are. We've got 12,000 square feet, and we're running out of room already. When we first went into this, we thought, boy, that's a big building. And so, it's been a blessing to be here, and I'll tell you, it's real interesting. When we bought this building, big brown, frankly an ugly building, and before we even found this building, Dahlia, my daughter, brought me a picture, and it was a brown 2-story building with a heart in the middle. And then for her to give me that and to land here, again, divine intervention.
I wanted to talk about what's something that we could focus on as a team to propel us forward, which I think is confidence. And I think, confidence is a funny thing, right? Because you always hear this term, fake it till you make it. And I think that applies. If you're not confident, you have to figure out a way to fake it until you make it. But I think that if you strip all that away, our confidence lies in the truth, right? And the truth is we're just going to do all we can to serve our clients the best of our ability. So we don't have to know all of the answers, right? Nobody does. Andy knows more than Myron about one question, and Myron knows more than Andy about all the others. But truly, so I think confidence really is a trait that comes from understanding that you're there to serve them rather than sell them.
Going through that experience, I think, tightened everybody up. And I think that comes from, when people are close and then you put them into an adverse situation, they get closer. When people are kind of sprawled out all over and you put them into a tough situation, a challenging situation, they disperse. When you put people in a situation or a challenge that are already close and they have a bond that is based on some core fundamentals, then it just brings them tighter, and that's what we experienced. And I think that as a whole, that's, again, there's so many of the same people still here today because they have belief in this brand and they have belief in each other.
And so cheers to us, because we're standing in our new building forever. We just closed on it.
Cheers.
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 I feel like, everything that's happened in my past leading up to that moment had prepared me for that moment. And guess what? There's going to be another moment like that coming. I don't know what it's going to be or what it's going to be about or concern or what challenge it will be, but it's always coming. And so, as a leader and as a growing leader, right? Because we never stop growing. You just got to be ready, and you got to have a plan, and you got to be willing to put that plan in action fast, and make good choices along the way.